last class we have discussed regarding delta H calculations for a given reaction and applications of bond energy, and then lattice enthalpy and calculation of lattice enthalpy in case of NaCl with the help of Born-Haber's cycle. So in today's class we will discuss regarding enthalpy of dilution and variation of enthalpy of reaction with temperature, that is Kirchhoff's equation, and laws of thermochemistry, in that Lavoisier and Laplace law and Hayes law of constant heat summation, and then third law of thermodynamics and applications of third law of thermodynamics, and entropy's problem, standard entropy change problems we will discuss in today's class. Enthalpy of dilution. As the enthalpy of solution changes with the concentration, the addition of quantity of a solvent to a given solution of very high concentration would involve a thermal change. The enthalpy change associated with the dilution of a solution containing 1 gram mole of a solute from one concentration to another is called the integral enthalpy of dilution. What is the integral enthalpy of dilution? If a solution changes from one concentration to another, whatever the enthalpy change occurs for that solution, that is called the integral enthalpy of dilution. Now, variation of enthalpy of reaction with temperature, that is considered as the Kirchhoff's equation. To explain this equation, consider the enthalpy of a reaction in general varies with temperature, and its variation with temperature can be deduced as follows. Let us consider X1 moles of substance A react with X2 moles of B to form Y1 moles of M at a constant temperature, each substance being a certain specific state. Thus, how we can write the equation? X1A plus of X2B, these are the reactants, gives rise to the product Y1 moles of M. The enthalpy of the reactants H1 is given by H1 is equal to X1 HA plus of X2 HB. And then the enthalpy of the products H2 is given by H2 is equal to Y1 HM. The increase in enthalpy delta H for the change at constant pressure is change in enthalpy, means there may be an increase or decrease. Increase in enthalpy delta H is equal to H2 minus H1 is equal to Y1 HM minus X1 HA minus X2 HB. Consider it as equation 1. Similarly, the increase in internal energy delta E at constant volume is delta E is equal to E2 minus E1 is equal to Y1 EM minus X1 EA minus X2 EB. Consider it as equation 2, where E represents the respective internal energy. Now what we have to do? Differentiate both the equations. Differentiating equation 1 with respect to temperature at constant pressure, and differentiating equation 2 with respect to temperature at constant volume. We get, if you are differentiating the equation 1 with respect to temperature at constant pressure, we get dou of delta H divided by dou T at constant pressure is equal to Y1 into dou of HM divided by dou T at constant pressure minus X1 into dou of HA divided by dou T at constant pressure P minus x2 into dou of Hb divided by dou T at constant pressure P. Consider it as equation 3. Now if we are differentiating equation 2 with respect to temperature at constant volume, we get dou of delta H divided by dou T at constant volume V is equal to Y1 into dou of EM divided by dou T at constant volume V minus X1 into dou of EA divided by dou T at constant volume V minus X2 dou of HB divided by dou T at constant volume. Consider it as equation 4. We know that the Cp means what? Specific heat at a constant pressure. Cp is equal to dou H divided by dou T at constant pressure P. And Cv is a specific heat at constant volume. Cv is equal to dou E divided by dou T at constant volume V. So therefore substitute these values Cp and Cv values in the equation 3 and 4, or we can reduce the equation 3 and 4 by substituting these values. So we get dou of delta H divided by dou T at constant pressure P is equal to Y1 Cp into M minus X1 Cpa minus X2 Cpb is equal to delta Cp. Consider it as equation 5. Then dou of delta H dou T at constant volume V is equal to Y1 Cvm minus X1 Cva minus X2 Cva is equal to delta Cv, equation 6, where delta Cp and delta Cp and delta Cv refer to overall changes in heat capacities in the reaction. These are the overall changes in heat capacities in the reaction, that is their algebraic sum. Expressions 5 and 6 are the mathematical forms of Kirchhoff's law. These equations 5 and 6 are referred as the mathematical forms of the Kirchhoff's law and represents the variation of heat content and internal energy of the reactant and products with temperature. So equation 5 and 6 are called the mathematical forms of the Kirchhoff's law. Next is laws of thermochemistry. First one, Lavoisier and Laplace law. According to this law given by Lavoisier and Laplace, the heat evolved or absorbed during a chemical change is equal to the heat absorbed or evolved when a reaction is reversed. Means that the heat evolved or absorbed in a reaction, either heat will be absorbed or evolved, that is equal to the heat absorbed or evolved when the reaction is reversed. And next one is Hayes law of constant heat summation. If a chemical reaction is carried out in 2 or more than 2 ways, in one step or more than one step, the algebraic sum of amount of heat evolved or absorbed is the same, no matter by which method the change is brought about. Either the reaction takes place in one step or more than one step, the heat absorbed or evolved is the same, no matter by which method the change is brought about. Next is third law of thermodynamics. What is the statement for the third law of thermodynamics? At the absolute zero of temperature, the entropy of every substance may become zero, and it does become zero in the case of perfectly crystalline solid. In the case of a perfectly crystalline solid at absolute zero temperature, the entropy of every substance becomes zero. This is the third law of thermodynamics. And one more point here we have to note that in a perfect crystal at absolute zero temperature, each atom must be at the proper crystal lattice point and it must have lowest energy. This means that this particular state is of perfect order, that is zero disorder and hence of zero entropy. Why it has the zero entropy? Because it is in a state of perfect order. Because of perfect order there is no randomness, so there is zero disorder and hence of zero entropy. Next is the applications of the third law of thermodynamics, where we are applying. First application, calculation of absolute entropies. The third law has been highly useful in calculating absolute entropies of solids, liquids and gases at different temperatures. And second application is calculation of entropy changes accompanying a chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, whatever the entropy changes occur, that will be calculated with the help of third law of thermodynamics. These are the applications of third law of thermodynamics. Here in this slide, the standard entropy values are given. The list of standard entropy values are given. Let us solve one of the problem on standard entropy change for the given reaction. Carbon solid state plus water molecule liquid state gives rise to carbon monoxide gaseous plus hydrogen gaseous. The standard entropy change for carbon in solid state is 5.69 joule per Kelvin. The unit is joule per Kelvin. Plus water molecule liquid state, the standard entropy is 70.29, gives rise to carbon monoxide. The carbon monoxide standard entropy change is 197.90 joule per Kelvin, plus hydrogen standard entropy change is 130.60. These values we have took from the table that we have given in the last slide. And by adding the reactant side entropies, we will get 75.98 joule per Kelvin, and in the product side, the standard entropies by adding we will get 328.50 joule per Kelvin. Now, what is the formula to calculate the standard entropy change for the reaction? The change in standard entropy, that is delta S, is equal to standard entropy of product minus standard entropy of the reactant. So the product standard entropy is 328.50 minus the reactant standard entropy is 75.98. At the last, what we will get? The standard entropy change delta S is equal to 252.52 joule per Kelvin. This is the standard entropy change for the given reaction. One more problem. N2 gaseous plus O2 gaseous gives rise to 2NO. For this reaction, we have to calculate the standard entropy change. From the table, we know that the standard entropy change of the nitrogen is 191.62 joule per Kelvin, plus of O2 is, O2 gaseous state is 205.01 joule per Kelvin, and that of the product side 2NO, 2 multiply, we have to multiply 2 with the standard entropy change of NO is 210.45. So at last the standard entropy change for the reaction what we will get, delta S is equal to 24.27 joule per Kelvin. How we got this? Because the standard entropy change delta S is equal to the standard entropy of the reactant minus the standard entropy of the product, that is equal to 24 minus 27 joule per Kelvin. In this way we have to calculate the standard entropy change for the given reaction by taking the standard entropy values of the reactant and the product. Thank you, students.